When a woman is truly in love, her behavior changes in subtle yet revealing ways. You may have noticed a woman close to you acting differently, but couldn't quite pinpoint what had changed. Today, I will show you the 7 unmistakable signs that indicate when a woman is falling in love. With this knowledge, you'll be able to navigate the women around you better and even identify when someone special is developing feelings for you. The desire to be close is one of the most powerful and transformative signs when a woman is falling in love. It's not just about physical proximity, but a deep connection that transcends the bounds of space. Imagine an invisible force that constantly pulls her towards her loved one, creating an almost magnetic resonance. This closeness reveals itself through small gestures laden with meaning. It could be a simple touch on the arm during a conversation, a gaze seeking the other even in crowded spaces, or the urge to share every detail of the day. The love-struck woman finds excuses to be near, not out of neediness, but driven by a genuine desire for connection. The nuances of this approach are simultaneously subtle and intense. It's not an invasion, but a delicate care that manifests in the subtext. She will pay attention to details, offering support in tough times, sharing joy during lighter moments. Proximity here is a realm of emotional nourishment, where each gesture represents an investment in the relationship. Her presence transforms into an almost physiological necessity. It's like each encounter recharges her energy, renews her hopes. It's not a calculated move, but genuine and spontaneous. The woman in love does not count the moments. She feels them intensely. This quest for closeness also reveals vulnerability and courage. It means she is willing to open up, to show her frailties, trusting she will be embraced. Each approach becomes a silent invitation to a deeper connection, where fears can be shared and joys multiplied. It's important to understand that this need for closeness doesn't mean dependence, but a genuine desire to build something together. The woman in love understands that true connection is rooted in mutual respect, space for individuality, and a desire for joint growth. Closeness, therefore, is not just physical. It's a state of mind, a harmony of souls that find in each other a safe harbor, a place of belonging and understanding. Each close moment transforms into a promise, each gesture into a silent declaration of love. The fear of losing someone can be one of the most intense feelings experienced by a woman in love. This impulse does not arise as a manifestation of fragility, but as a profound expression of emotional connection. It represents a complex state where protection and vulnerability intertwine, creating a delicate dynamics of feelings. When a woman begins to fear losing someone, her behaviors subtly shift. It's not destructive jealousy or controlling possessiveness, but a genuine concern that arises from the desire to preserve something precious. Each gesture starts to be imbued with significance. Each moment with the loved one becomes a treasure to be carefully guarded. This sensitivity manifests through an almost instinctive attentiveness. She will be more alert to signals, moments of distance, and little changes in the other's behavior. Not as a way of monitoring, but as a means of understanding and nurturing the established bond. Fear of losing also translates into deeper and more vulnerable conversations. The woman in love understands that the best strategy is not control, but communication. She will create safe spaces to discuss insecurities, expectations, and feelings. Each word will be an invitation to intimacy, each shared silence an opportunity for connection. This dynamic reveals impressive emotional maturity. She understands that love is not about possession, but about freedom. Her fear does not paralyze her. Rather, it drives her to be better, to invest in the relationship in a conscious and respectful manner. The protection that emerges from this feeling is delicate, yet potent. It represents a care that does not suffocate, but supports, an energy that seeks to strengthen the bond, celebrate the other's individuality, while simultaneously building a joint story. True love, therefore, does not fear loss due to control, but due to the possibility of not being able to demonstrate how much one cares. It's a delicate balance between allowing and embracing, between letting go and holding gently. Frequent communication when a woman is in love transcends simple message exchanges. It is a channel of deep connection, where each word, each silence carries intense emotional meanings. It's not just about quantity, but the quality and intention behind each interaction. At this moment, technology transforms into a bridge. For closeness, text messages are no longer mere quick taps, but genuine letters of digital affection. Each chosen emoji, each selected GIF, represents an emotional investment, an attempt to translate complex feelings into small virtual gestures. Phone calls take on a new dimension. Whether they are short or long, what matters is the connection established. The tone of voice subtly shifts, loaded with a genuine interest that goes beyond the discussed content. Deeper questions arise, demonstrating an authentic curiosity about the details of the other's life. Active listening becomes the protagonist in this communicational dynamic. The woman in love doesn't just hear, she absorbs every detail, every nuance of the conversation. Her eyes shine differently when she is fully immersed in dialogue. Her gestures demonstrate an almost magnetic attention to what is being shared. Non-verbal communication gains prominence in this scenario. A wider smile, a lingering gaze, a more frequent touch reveal much more than words. These are micro-expressions that betray feelings, manifesting an almost telepathic harmony with the loved one. In-person meetings transform into sacred moments of exchange. Each conversation is an opportunity for depth, for joint construction. There are no mundane topics. Everything can be interesting when one is genuinely emotionally connected. Communication thus reveals itself as a territory of vulnerability and courage. It means being willing to show one's truths, to share fears, dreams, and expectations. Each word becomes an invitation to intimacy, each silence a space for complicity. This is not about being constantly online or sending hundreds of messages. It's about creating genuine channels of connection where authenticity prevails over any communicational strategy. The woman in love understands that true communication arises from a sincere desire to understand and be understood. The sharing of personal details forms a delicate and deeply intimate territory when a woman is falling in love. It's not about abrupt revelations, but a gradual process of trust and vulnerability that builds naturally and organically. Initially, these shares are subtle. They are small fragments of personal stories, cherished memories, discreetly whispered fears. The love-struck woman carefully selects each piece of information as if she were handing over precious pieces of her essence. Reciprocity emerges as a fundamental element in this dynamic. Each detail shared is a silent invitation for a deeper exchange. It's not about competing narratives, but about creating a safe space where both can present themselves in their genuine authenticity. Secrets that once seemed untouchable begin to be unveiled. Childhood stories, overcome traumas, unfulfilled dreams find their voice. This emotional openness does not signify fragility, but an impressive courage to truly show oneself. Fears take on new contours in this process. Rather than being obstacles, they transform into bridges of connection. Sharing vulnerabilities means being willing to be understood in one's entirety, without masks or artificial protections. The construction of this intimacy happens almost imperceptibly. A detail here, a memory there. Each revelation is like a layer being peeled away, allowing the other to gradually access one's interior landscape. It's a movement of trust, where each word signifies, "I'm opening up to you." The woman in love understands that true connection arises from authenticity. She doesn't seek to impress or create a perfect image, but to show herself real in her contradictions and complexities. Her shares are invitations to mutual understanding, to build a bond that transcends the superficial. This revelation process has no defined timeline. Some details may surface quickly, while others will require time and a safe environment to be verbalized. The essential part is constructing a territory of welcoming listening where each story is received with respect and care. Actions carry a communicative force that is incomparably stronger than words. When a woman is in love, her gestures transform into silent declarations of affection, building a narrative of love that goes far deeper than any verbal declaration could reach. These actions reveal themselves in seemingly simple moments, yet laden with meaning. Preparing an unexpected breakfast, offering help during a stressful work project, or simply being there in challenging situations are powerful examples of how love manifests through tangible attitudes. Genuine demonstrations of affection arise when least expected. It could be a tight hug after a tough day, a sweet note hidden in a backpack, or a surprise call just to check in. Each gesture represents an emotional investment, a way to say, "You are important to me," without uttering a single word. Surprising with small attentions demonstrates meticulous care. It's not about grand or expensive gestures, but actions that reveal attention to detail. Remembering a movie the person enjoys, buying a book from a favorite author, or preparing a cozy environment after a stressful day are subtle ways to express love. Support in critical moments also speaks volumes. When a woman is truly in love, she becomes an unconditional support force. She will be there in moments of fragility, offering not only comforting words, but practical actions that demonstrate real commitment. The ability to create special moments without grand pretexts also reveals much. An unexpected outing, a lovingly prepared night, a surprise dinner, these are actions that convey a deep emotional investment. They are not about impressing, but about demonstrating affection through shared experiences. Recognizing these actions tremendously strengthens the bond between two people. When gestures are perceived and valued, positive cycles of affection and connection are formed. The woman in love doesn't seek recognition. She finds her greatest reward in reciprocity and understanding. Each action transforms into a unique love language, transcending words and revealing the true essence of feelings. They are micro-gestures, packed with meaning that construct, day after day, a story of genuine and profound connection. The desire for exclusivity in a romantic relationship represents a complex and delicate emotional territory. When a woman is truly in love, this desire arises not as a controlling imposition, but as a natural expression of deep connection and commitment. Exclusivity, in this context, transcends simple physical fidelity. It means a unique emotional investment, where the person chooses to dedicate her affective energy to a single relationship. It's not about limiting the other's freedom, but about creating a sacred space of trust and intimacy. This dynamic is revealed through small gestures and subtle attitudes. The woman in love demonstrates a genuine interest in building a joint story where both are protagonists. Her desire for exclusivity does not stem from insecurity, but from a mature understanding of the value of a truly special bond. Communication becomes essential in this process. The woman understands that open dialogue about expectations and boundaries is the healthiest way to establish this exclusivity. She won't impose rules, but will create an listening environment where both can share their feelings and desires. Unlike destructive possessiveness, this exclusivity represents an invitation to complicity. Each gesture demonstrates a desire to strengthen the bond, celebrate the other's individuality, and simultaneously build a unique connection. It's not about controlling, but about choosing to be together out of genuine inclination. Emotional. Maturity reveals itself precisely in the ability to desire exclusivity without losing freedom. The woman in love understands that true love does not imprison, but expands. Her desire to be uniquely and exclusively tied to someone emerges from profound admiration and respect. This movement does not happen abruptly, rather, it develops organically. Over time, exclusivity becomes almost a natural consequence of the established connection. It doesn't need to be constantly verbalized because it manifests through attitudes, glances, and complicity. True exclusivity, therefore, does not configure as an emotional enclosure, but as a territory of mutual freedom. A space where two individuals constantly choose to be together, not out of obligation, but out of genuine desire to share their journey. Creating memories together represents one of the most magical and transformative aspects when a woman is truly in love. Each shared moment becomes a precious chapter of a unique story, built with complicity, affection, and intention. These memories do not need to be grand or elaborate events. It's precisely the small daily experiences that gain a special shine when lived with someone special. A relaxed breakfast, a spontaneous laugh during a simple walk, or a silent hug after a tough day can become unforgettable memories. The woman in love develops an almost magical sensitivity to transform ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Each situation becomes an opportunity for connection, an invitation to create a joint narrative. She doesn't just participate in experiences, she celebrates them with an intensity that makes them truly memorable. Celebrating victories, even the smallest ones, becomes a ritual of affection. Whether it's finishing a work project, a small personal achievement, or simply a particularly good day, these moments are valued and acknowledged. Each accomplishment gains more meaning when shared, multiplying joy and the feeling of success. Details take on a singular importance in this process of memory building. A song playing during a special moment, the smell of coffee brewed together, a deep conversation during a walk. These are fragments that will be cherished, transforming into stories that will be told and retold. Intentionality marks this construction of memories. They are not random moments, but experiences chosen and lived with full presence. The woman in love understands that each moment is a unique opportunity to strengthen the bond, to create a story that will be exclusively theirs. Trips, even if short, take on a special dimension. Each new landscape, each challenge faced together, each surprise discovered becomes an additional layer of this shared narrative. These are experiences that transform them both as individuals and as a couple. These memories become a sort of emotional heritage, a treasure built with complicity and affection. They are not just recollections, but pieces of a love story that continues to be written with every new day, every new gesture, every new glance of connection. The journey of discovering love arrives at its most significant moment, the reflection on how each woman experiences and manifests her feelings in an absolutely unique way. There is no exact formula or universal rule for demonstrating passion. What we share are signs, behavioral nuances that reveal the depth of a transformative feeling. Each woman carries her own story, her own way of loving. The important thing is to understand that true love transcends patterns and manifests through genuine, authentic, and completely individual gestures. I invite you to look at your own experiences with more sensitivity and less judgment.